Now, the U.S. policy of deporting migrants back to Guatemala is threatening to derail the country's efforts against the spread of coronavirus. Recent deportation flights run by the U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement Service have brought back dozens of migrants that were infected by the virus in detention centers in the United States. Guatemalan officials denounced in mid-April that nearly half of the deported migrants on one flight were found to be infected. The Guatemalan government eventually stopped allowing deportee flights into the country, and the United States announced a small donation aimed at helping care for coronavirus-infected patients. But experts say the damage has already been done, and violence against returned immigrants is on the rise. Townspeople in one community in the highlands gathered to protest when a government ambulance returned a deported immigrant to his home after he had passed a mandatory 14-day quarantine and had twice tested negative for the coronavirus.
People attacked the mayor and his family and one person who had returned home, despite the fact that he had been in quarantine and did not pose any risk at all to the health of the population. Months ago, these same people were happy when they received remittance checks from migrants abroad, and now they are treating them as delinquents.
Already nervous officials around the country are intensifying measures to control who enters their communities. Santiago Perez is the mayor of Aldea Paxtoca in the Western Highlands.
We had received word that some migrants were returning to the community, and we coordinated with the Ministry of Health to enact a protocol to check on their health status and to take measures here to find out who had been outside of the country and prevent them from entering our community, because we have seen that there are many infected migrants returning home, and we cannot allow that while this situation persists.
Tiziano Breda is a regional analyst with the Crisis Group. He says the recent deportation to Guatemala of infected migrants represents a dangerous added burden to officials using limited resources to handle the pandemic.
It adds a layer of political pressure to governments that are already facing a lot of pressure to step up their efforts in improving the ill-equipped and ill-prepared health system and they have in their countries. They're facing a lot of pressure to balance out the containment measures, strict containment measures to avoid the contagion.
The U.S. government has not commented publicly on the incidence of coronavirus infections among deported migrants, beyond announcing it was donating close to $3 million to help Guatemala deal with the pandemic. Harris Whitbeck, CGTN, Guatemala City.